Hi everyone. I just thought I'd quickly go through the sample cover letter to point out a few things to help you understand what I think of it and what each part really means. Anyway, I'll try to do this quickly and just go through it. So, first of all, um, we have the salutation. Don't forget to put a colon on. That's kind of what differentiates business letters from informal letters. And also, I find you can always find a name. So you can avoid using hiring manager or some kind of generic formula like to whom it may concern. Anyway, the good part about this cover letter format is what lies underneath what's actually here on the surface of the document because, on the surface here, it was written by the head recruiter at Monster, Kim Isaacs, and it's a good plan for writing a cover letter. However, if I were to go through this, I would say that it's a bit wordy and, visually designed, so it's kind of chunked up together, hard to read, maybe a bit long. So I have a couple reservations, but I'd just like to show you the underlying principles that I think are useful. Now, what it does is it answers the questions of the reader in the order they're probably asking them in their mind. So it's very responsive to their needs and concerns. Probably the first thing any reader is going to be asking is this a letter that I'm supposed to read, or is Mary supposed to read it? What job is this person applying to? And also, where did they find it? How do they know about it? That's also a very good thing to know. Uh, all right, but moving on. Now, one of the principles I keep telling people is don't think of your cover letter as an argument. Oh, excuse me. Don't think of your cover letter as an introduction or a biography. It's they're not interested in that. What they are interested is in reading an argument that will persuade them to move on to the next step and interview you. So, you want to keep the argument short and sweet and focused on the topic how I am an exceptional match for the position qualifications you asked for. Now, because I don't say not to be a biography, I usually tell people not to write too much about themselves. But you see right here at this position, you could, if you wanted to, um, put a sentence or so here that basically says who you are in with the kind of information they want to know about you. So to know whether you know your education, what you're doing, who you are, it suffices to describe this in one sentence or two, saying something like, I am a graduating senior majoring in computer science who will graduate in 2019. Uh, anyway, you get my drift. Of course, it would have to be sound nicer, but that's okay because that can help them check off a few qualifications in their head. But the main thing that they want to know and that you want to tell them is the argument claim. And your argument claim is going to finish that first section or paragraph by saying that I am accomplished at, let's say, communications, manual writing, technical writing, I speak Japanese. Mention two or three of those that you think you can prove that you have and that you think are important to them. And of course, make it short and sweet and make it specific. So don't just say, kind of vague things that you will explain later. The further down your reader goes, the less interested they are. So you want to capture their attention right away. Okay, so you made a claim, and the next question they have in their mind is, well, how do I know this person really does have these talents or skills. And so here, Kim Isaacs made a set of bullets, and she has this bolding system. If you don't like that, you don't have to. You can also use targeted paragraphs. As long as the information you give next goes back to the main claim you made in the first paragraph and proves it by citing specific experiences, accomplishments, and results. The Google formula, in short. So keep the Google formula in mind, even for the cover letter. Okay, so she has bullets. You don't need bullets. You can use bulleted or targeted paragraphs. Just make sure that every piece of proof can be easily matched to the main claim. Okay, let's see. Once you've done that, you just have a couple more things you want to do. First of all, you want to show what you can do for them with the skills you've just argued that you have. And so the best way to do this is not to talk about yourself, but perhaps do a little bit of research and then make a claim, a second subclaim about what you can do with these talents to support the company or to, aid the company at the present time with what's going on. Okay, so you can see my daughter texting me. Okay, so anyway, keep that short and sweet and don't talk about yourself and your motivations too much. They'll be able to suss that out, to figure it out in an interview. Then, after you've done that, you really just want to do a couple more things. And most business letters end up with some kind of action. And so, first of all, you want to state that you are open, or would be appreciative of follow-up, which in most cases means an interview. So you can either talk about, you can either request an interview with an objective and formal kind of phrase. I like appreciation sentences such as, I would appreciate the opportunity to discuss my qualifications in greater detail. Then, the second thing you want to do, because you can mix this all in a bit somewhere, is that once you state that you want to have an interview or that you'd be open to an interview, you want to end with another part of the action. And that would be just mention briefly your main contact info or your best contact info and any availability that needs to be mentioned. Now, most of the time people say, well, at your convenience, or I can be reached, I can be reached every day on my cell phone. But some people have more to say. So, for example, if you don't meet or work with anything on the Sabbath, you might want to mention that. Or you could also mention if you're going to be in New York for a week in May and you'd be available to interview then. If not, then usually it's at your convenience and it ends. The rationale for repeating some of your contact information is that, well, first of all, you give them the best one, but also that most business letters, perhaps I mentioned this, end with action. And so by mentioning this, you put the reader in a frame of mind that they're going to do what comes next. And that could be either opening up an email to send to you, reaching for the phone, or checking off a list that has the people that are going to be interviewed, whatever it is. So that's a good way to end it on a positive note that's based on the action that you want them to perform with any luck, and that is to call you. Anyway, that was it. I hope this isn't too rambling, and I hope you can hear my voice is really scratchy today. But let me know if you have any questions. I hope that this helps.